Welcome Holy Paladin enjoyers, let's have a look on Lightsmith in dungeons. So let's start with the stats. Stat wise, haste most important, as we have this stat most important for years. Well, a little bit fighting with critical sometimes, but usually the haste. Second priority is critical strike, and then is huge gap. What cannot be critical haste is versatility and mastery, ideally 0. I'm in process to change to off-spec for retribution, so I'm a little bit pumping mastery and lowering other stats, but don't mind mine. So haste, like close to 20,000, critical at least 10,000, 5,000 versatility, that's where you want to land, and then you can do some tweaks, a little bit more haste, a little bit more crit, a little bit more versatility, up to you. Let's go straight to talents. No more information is needed on these criticals. Stats, not criticals. Oh, criticals are quite huge with Lightsmith, a little bit more huge than Herald. In case you want exactly these talents, import string will be in the description. So with new patch, our left tree got quite rearranged, and there is a lot of points that are not so huge, so just feel free to experiment. Like, you have points like these ones, you can just place it anywhere, you can place it to lay. That armor is not so huge, but you can, well, it's ignoring healing reduction effects, so it can be huge to save somebody's life. Lower cooldowns, you can squeeze it whatever you want, whenever you want. Reduce the cooldown pop. There is just few loose talents that are not doing anything huge, or like bigger consecration slow, so you can play a little, not the big deals. Like, you can go on even lower, like consecration heal or judgment. It's healing so little, it will be literally just few millions per run. So up to you. But this is like nice base. This is definitely random talent, so this one just free anywhere. I usually play with quite bad tanks, so I'm wearing this. I just feel it's helping them to survive. I hope it does. And from the right side, it's usually always the same. In any case, you can switch it, but this is the best. You are not even doing this holy shocks with Lightsmith. You are just blasting damage and healing from that. And from that damage you have holy power and using Word of Glory. But there is one loose talent, and this one you don't even want to cast. But there is nothing huge. Like, shields from holy shocks you barely use, whatever. And even if you use a lot of holy shocks, it's barely useful, because it was huge when we had Glimmer, but we don't have Glimmer anymore. So this one, feel free to use anywhere. Well, cooldown Aura Mastery maybe. The one is loose, and the middle, everybody plays the same. It's a good choice. So let's move on gameplay rotation and priorities, whatever you want to call it. So a little bit on the start, well, even more on the start, make sure you have your aura ready. Second thing you want to prepare before dungeon, your spell from hero talents is just enchanter weapon. Then you can use those oils. So do I have some oils to show you? And these oils, you just cannot use any of those. But this one is better, so just go for it. So these two things, make sure prepared. And then before we start with first priority, there is thing about paladins that you do damage to generate holy power and then heal. So even if you are focusing full on heal, you are still doing damage. You can see my overall what is 265, 245. Even though I'm clicking non-stop these damage abilities, I'm not doing huge damage because you just don't have it. But it's helping you heal, so you're always doing that damage. And which abilities we are just clicking between heals? It's Judgment, Crusader Strike, Holy Shock can be also damage, and Hammer of Wrath. Consecration no longer improve our healing by any way. Well, in the case you have this talent, it's healing very tiny amounts. Very tiny amounts. So let's just say that, to not be lying completely. These four abilities we are using for damage to generate holy power and then heal from it. Holy Shock is the last priority because it's doing very little, but hey, we have it. And it's quite expensive mana if you imagine it's 80,000 holy damage for 70,000 mana. That's a lot of mana for so little damage. But we have nothing else to click. Mana is quite fine, usually. So it's fine. Alright, main damage abilities, two of them I'll mention because they will be huge for healing. And then, of course, we are playing Avenging Crusader. I mean, we are healing from our damage, similar like Monk or Disco Priests when we have this cooldown. And you have a little bit different priorities, more focus on damage. but I will say this priority is with the cooldowns when talking about Avenging Crusader. Alright, so let's finally go on first priority, and it's our shiny beacons. So you're not playing with the classic beacons you will just apply and it's forever. You are playing with Beacon of Virtue that will apply beacons on 5 targets. So what beacons are doing? Beacons are sharing heals. So they are sharing 20% of healing. All your healing you are doing. If you are healing the same target, it's not increasing your healing by 20%. It's when you are healing one target, it's healing all the 4 targets, but not the same target. So on single target healing, it's doing absolutely nothing. Well, it's doing something, because targets who got those beacons have also 5% damage radius. It's from down over here. And then we have Save by Light. So when an ally with Beacon of Light is damaged below 50% of their health, they have quite decent absorb. With my gear is 670,000. And another addition, Glistering Radiance. So if you are spending Holy Power, even when you are spending on damage, so Shield of Righteous, you have 25% chance to trigger the Save of Light, so we'll apply this absorb. It's just 33% effectiveness, but it's not giving it cooldown, so it's just extra shield you'll be applying on your friends. Well, hopefully they are your friends. Ideally, with our mastery, you have some by default. Like, this is giving me 11%, so let's say you have 18 by default. That's 18% increase your healing. So this is increasing your healing depending how close are targets to you. So it's increasing 0 on 40 yards, and in my case 29% if somebody is standing exactly on me. But with the beacons, you have towns over here. So when you have a beacon on someone, it's counting like it's you, or like it's standing on you. So you are putting this on everyone. That means it doesn't matter where people are standing, you are having bonus mastery by 100%. So when I click those beacons on my groups, then everybody is getting their healing, well, my healing increased by 29%. So quite a huge tool with that mastery too. So what we are doing with this? Well, it's for AoE. As always, top priority because it's AoE. We are using beacon before anything else because this will be sharing our healing. So you always want to prepare it before because, of course, if you use some cooldowns for healing sooner than beacons, it's not shared. So yeah, topmost priority. Of course, for single target, we are skipping it. Maybe for 2 targets too because it's just not worth it. But AoE, definitely beacons first. Moving on, second priority is our Holy Armament. That's our main ability from this Lightsmith hero talents. So, Holy Armaments are from 2 parts. So it's Holy Bulwark and Sacred Weapon. You have 2 stacks, and after you use one, then second one will come there. Similar like blessings. We know that. So we use one blessing, bam, and it's different there. So let's first talk about what they are doing. So Holy Bulwark, putting shield on a target, 15% of your maximum health. I'm not completely sure if it's your maximum health, like if you put it on that kind of tank with increased health, it's his maximum health, but it doesn't matter, it's massive shield. It just doesn't matter, it's simple like that. And then additional 2% shield every 2 seconds, 2% maximum health. And this is lasting for 20 seconds, that means it's 1% per second, that means it will be 20%, so 35% maximum health shield. So this one doesn't have like any maximum, so if I just use it, and you can see the shield, it's still increasing. So even if you prepared like 10 seconds before pull or something like that, this shield won't go to waste, it will be just stacking you. Only thing that is limiting is this duration, so it's 20 seconds. So you can see this one is stacking the shield, and this is actual shield, so it's 2 buffs. And now this is fully charged, so completely it was 1.8 million shield on me. That's a decent amount of shield. Actually, I'm thinking about that maximum health, and I decided I'm going to try it, but I need to rotate it because I need to get that weapon off cooldown first. So, but let's land here and I will try it. So let's just use the weapon and move on. So let's talk about weapon. What is weapon doing? If somebody is doing healing, it has a chance to do heal. If somebody is doing damage, it got chance to do damage. Simple as that. This damage or heal is scaling with you, so it doesn't matter how strong abilities that you use. That means the more haste character have, that means he's clicking more abilities, the more profit you have from sacred weapon. Now it's time to test the shield. It will be consumed though. It's fine, because I will see it. Right, let's go to combat. Let's apply shield. Let's keep doing damage, so I keep myself in combat. Alright. I think we can quite easily say it's maximum health of the target. So if you put it on tank, the shield will be much bigger. This is clearly more than 1.8 million what I got on myself. Look at this amount. Alright. Well, now we know for 100%. Alright, so we have this weapon and shield. It's important because it's a huge shield and weapon is always counting to you, so we can see complete damage. Let me find dungeon. Yeah, I'm farming Garakara. So like, you have some damage from it. Healing, I'm not sure. Where is it? Where is it? It's over here. It's mostly over here because, you know, it's random proc chance. You're just putting it on DPS, random proc. It's happening. So it can heal a lot, but see, almost 70% over heal. So potential is there. Reality, no big deal. So mostly you want to plan those shields and weapons is just whatever. Put it on some DPS that have most haste. But these two things have, of course, additional mechanics. Because we have the Deteriorating and we need to have 50 million synergies and mechanics on each ability. So, what extra things these abilities are doing? They have special effects. So, for shield, if targets with Holy Bulwark are healed above maximum health, transfer 100% of overhealing to your ally. It's not counting their healing. At least I was testing on Bad Dead Knight, and I would notice if Bad Dead Knight is healing with this. He was not healing with this. That would be massive heals to your group. That would be fun. So, I guess overhealing only from you. It's not specified here. It's saying 100% overheal, so the sense would be it's counting their healing, but it was nothing absolutely like zero, literally zero healing. When I was not healing, I put it on Death Knight and I just let him tank. It was nothing. He definitely overhealed. It's Death Knight. That's what he did. So probably your healing is not said anywhere. And in dungeons you don't have other healers. So it's hard to also try there. But yeah, probably that. Now let's see those shiny talents, or rather how much I did with it. I don't know which one is which. I think this is the overheal. No, it's not. This is overheal. Yeah, this is overheal, 90%. 90% from it is overheal. You only heal 3 millions. Maybe because when you're overhealing, usually everybody's full, right? So, yeah. And this is from Sword, so it has a second effect. And that is, if you have sacred weapon, I just call it Sword. Kill me, judge me. That's what I call it. So, it's similar like Shaman Link. So if somebody who got this sword drop below 40% of health, then you are connected for 4 seconds, and every seconds you are like rebalance their health. This is tricky. This can kill you and this can save someone. I usually don't put sword on tanks because sometimes they'll drop low when there's something happening, and you will drop low too. But you don't have defenses and you don't have maximum health of tank, so if both of you are on 20% of health, you didn't give tank that much health, because like tanks are usually double of you. A little bit less, but almost. So this is tricky because then it's much easier to one-shot you. I never do this on Death Knight. I learned my lesson on that. Death Knights are quite dropping low often, and they will still heal from you, and they will immediately heal back. But if they heal back after this link will stop, you don't get healed from him. So it's much easier for him to heal to full. For you, it's a little bit harder. You need a little bit more spells A little mechanics. If he heals you, then it's perfect on that kind, but sometimes he will get a huge hit. You will drop on 30%, then will end. He will heal himself to full with one click, and you don't have light, you don't have nothing. AoE is coming, you are dead. So, yeah, Lightsmith is tricky and RNG, but this sword can happen on RNG too, so yeah, so this is extra effects with Holy Armaments. They are quite huge, like if you see my healing Holy Bulwark, well, it was mostly on tank. I usually put in a tank. It's not like I'm not putting in on others, it's just usually not doing something huge, so yeah, it didn't do much. Because, you know, it's shield, it's not showing over healing, it's just showing how much it was shielded. I was using on some other guys too, when it was AoE, but it didn't do much. Alright, of course it's not everything. So this is huge. Your spells and abilities have chance to manifest Holy Armament nearby. It can be shield, it can be weapon, doesn't matter, and it can be any spell. And this can be a huge difference of your performance. That's another huge RNG part of this Lightsmith talents. But it's fun, it's pumping, it's fine. So another huge part, and if you consume Infusion of Light, you will reduce cooldowns by 3 seconds. It's fine. And also, but it was, yeah, when armament fades, so, and the duration, it's also reducing cooldown of Lay on Hands by 15 seconds. Alright, that's all information about these armaments. I bet I missed something already. Unless we test something with that maximum health. I'm happy about that. Alright, so this is second priority, because it's just strong potential. You don't want to just sit on 2 stacks, so definitely use at least one. And then, like, I usually when I see sword, I'll just use it, whatever, send the weapon away, and then shield, I'm a little bit thinking, do I need it right now? I'll just put it on tank now, or like in 20 seconds there will be some AoE, I'll put it on DPS. So usually with shield I'm thinking about and maybe keeping ready, but you want still 1 stack recharging, and you can wait with other. If you have to ideally send it as soon as possible because you want to be effective, you know. Alright, third priority, World of Glory. Classic, old ability, nothing new with it, well, it was not that old, it's costing a little mana, but it's fine. So it's just big single target heal, and you need 3 holy power. So you are doing damage anyway, so you have holy power, and if you have it, then just spend it on this heal, because that's how you heal. Very simple explanation. It's quite high healing, but you can see I was not over heal because I'm using this when I need to heal. I'm not using it, I'm just using Shield of Righteous if everybody is almost full. That's quite simple. There is just one little thing, that World of Glory have increased critical chance the lower health your target is. So up to 30% when it's really low on their health. That's it. It's finally some simple abilities. I'm starting to really enjoy simple abilities because there is so many mechanics in this DLC. Ah, so many. Alright, moving on, priority 4. And priority 4 is Judgment. What is Judgment doing? Well, by default it's damage ability. Fine. But it's huge potential. So one thing it is preventing damage dealt by the target, any damage dealt. That's great. Then you use Infusion of Light. A little bit more about it with Holy Shock, but basically if you do critical with Holy Shock, so Greater Judgment prevents 150% more damage. So do I have Judgment somewhere? It's not showing. So 137,000 with my gear, and now it's 150% more from this. So this is already a nice number. And I can say it, yeah, this is Greater Judgment. So I prevented 53 million. So this is quite nice. But what is huge about Judgment is this Hammer and Anvil. This got huge buff in this patch. So if you do critical strike with Judgment, you will heal huge AoE. So this is 543,000 just on paper. If I check in reality, like look, I healed like this amount, and then you check overheal, it's 71%. so it could heal 140 more millions. But of course we are using it on damage regularly, so it's just going to waste, because when everybody's full, you are still using Judgment, because that's your damage ability. So average hit is 224,000. Okay, that's nothing impressive, because it was mostly overheal, so it's healing for 0, it's 0. So yeah, normal hit minimum 0, critical hits minimum 0, because it happened to full target for glory. Yeah. But you can see it can heal critical. Hey, you are here. 1.5 million, 760 maximum normal hit. That's what you can expect from this ability. But yeah, Judgment needs to be critical for this, but then that heal can also be critical. So this is massive part of our healing, and you can see potential was absolutely brutal if everything would be actually healing. So that's why it's important to use the Judgment, because it's generating holy power that you can use then on healing. It's doing some damage, fine. And then it's preventing damage, and you have potential for that huge heal. So yeah, it's in priorities because it's healing ability and huge potential. In the case you want to bet or RNG, move this priority before World of Glory. Because if you do critical, it's much better than World of Glory. But like with my critical, I have quite high on Paladin, and it's 29%. So if you don't hit this 29% chance, it's better to use World of Glory. So just on you, if you can afford to be more RNG, then definitely go for Judgment. Like even when you need to heal right now, if it procs, it will be so much better than World of Glory. Because even on single target, this will heal more. But this is healing everyone. When you need to heal, you have Beacon, so this will heal 5 targets. Or 4 targets it was? 5 hits. 5 hits and then 1 overheal completely. It's healing 5 targets. And when you have Beacon, well, each target will heal other 4 targets. I was multiple, but I was happy. So see, I just click one Judgment, and just do the beacons. Well, another overheal, because it hit that guy that is sitting here. Oh, he is doing mess for me. So you can see, just with the beacons, it's several million heal. So yeah, Judgment, great potential. Better on RNG, move it higher than World of Glory. So next priority. Guess what now? And the damage ability. So it's Hammer of Wrath. Oh no, I forgot with Judgment. Not Hammer of Wrath. A little bit stop with Judgment. We have a huge town here. So if you use Judgment, it will heal you. Mana cost is reduced 30%, it's fine. And 50% of overhealing from this effect, just from this, not that Hammer and Anvil, will be shared to 2 allies. So if you overheal yourself. So if I go back to Arakara, and let's find that overheal. This one? Yeah. So you can see even 55% overheal, but at overheal it's shared. Yeah, this is sharing, see? Nice healing even more than me, and this is just me, because this is self-heal. So this is almost 70% overheal, but it was healing others, that is just 30% overheal. So yeah, Judgment is big boy. Now I'm thinking about it should be higher priority than World of Glory. Well, but you cannot say this healing on that target, so like healing wise on paper is better, even on critical, but you know, you need to focus who is dying. You cannot just let it heal, whatever. Alright, I end up with Judgment, but let's move on back to Hammer of Wrath. So another damage ability, but if you use this shiny hammer, it's healing 5 targets, mount them as every heals like this, and it's healing for 200% of damage done with that ability. What is a little bit catch with that ability is you cannot use it on anyone. You need to be targeted that have lower than 20% of health, or you have wingies. That is not really worth it, so not in this case. And you can also proc it, so if you do critical strike with Flash of Light, Holy Light, Judgment, they will reset cooldown of Hammer of Wrath and make it usable on any targets. So you can just, next one you can just throw on any target. It can be over 20% of health. As we are playing little critical, just for the judgments too, but you're also healing more with criticals. That's why it's quite decent stat on Holy Paladin. So we have some criticals, so this will be happening quite often. And this is some extra healing. Cannot show you that because I didn't play that day with that talent. So yeah, we have Squeeze Dash Judgment, Hammer of Wrath, huge potential, and there are cheap mana too. 15,000 Hammer of Wrath, Judgment 42. That's definitely fine. This is already reduced by 30 here. So moving on, next priority, Holy Shock. Finally we got to Holy Shock. Infusion of Light, we'll talk about it. There's 2 more effects with it. Let's do critical. Of course I cannot do critical because that's how it works. So Infusion of Light, damn it. Alright, I'll find it here. And I click on the wrong spot. Infusion of Light, Infusion of Light, Infusion of Light. So you can see Judgment, we talk about it, then Holy Light healing increase 150%, in Flash of Light mana cost reduced by 60%. With this, it will be usually spent with Judgment, because we are using Judgment on cooldown almost. If not on Judgment, then just Holy Light. It's a little bit detailed, more about it with Holy Light. Another effect would have Holy Shock, so it's increased by 20%, that's nothing new. And then is increasing 8% of heal of your next Word of Glory, and it's stacking up to 4 is your 4 piece. And also you have 2 piece Holy Shock healing, increase 10%, cooldown reduce 10%. Well, we are not using it that much. I even play talents on Holy Shock and it's not that great. So yeah, it's quite low in priority. And let's go on very bottom. It's Holy Light. And Holy Light, in most occasions, it's better than Flash of Light. Even on like how much you will heal per mana. Flash of Light only use if you are like below 5% of mana. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. But usually you want to cast it with buff, Infusion of Light. Can I get it? Finally! 2 stacks here. 150% increase healing. That would make it worth it. So now it's healing much more. Can I see it? Where is the heal? Holy Light. It's 700 on paper. That's quite great. So always you want to use it with this buff. And then after you use Prism, you have also increased healing of Holy Light, Flash of Light 2, whatever, cast time reduce, and mana cost reduce too. So if you have this buff and you have Infusion of Light, that's when you want to cast Holy Light. Otherwise you usually want to heal with everything else and not cast abilities. But if you need to heal right now, you don't have any target or you have everything on cooldown, alright, cast more Holy Lights. But ideally you don't want to do... Did I do some Holy Lights? Over here. Holy Light. Oh, here it is. I cast it 3 times. But average hit is 1.13. It's not great anyway. But I cast it 3 times. So usually you are not doing this, but this is our bottom priority. And we want to play on this. And of course, if you consume Infusion of Light, you get a little cooldown reduction, but it's almost whatever. So with that, I remember there is a Holy Prism. I somehow forgot when I was writing this guide. But yeah, that is Holy Prism. So let's squeeze it to priorities. It's about Hammer of Wrath. In matter of fact, it's better than the Hammer of Wrath. So between Judgment and Hammer of Wrath, squeeze that Prism. So when you use it on enemy, it's healing 5 allies. If it's using on ally, it's doing damage to 5 enemies. Of course, on the target you will use it, you will do stronger heal or stronger damage. So the usual, you need to heal single target, use it on single, you need to heal AoE. Oh, you need to heal single target, use it on single, friendly. You need to heal AoE, use it on single enemy, it's always single enemy. You cannot use it on multiple. And damage, if AoE damage, use it on friendly. If single target damage, use it on enemy. And sorry, I said 50% better on single. And then 5 targets, it's 100% better. So how much you will heal 5 targets on single target? You'll heal 1 target, but twice as 1 target. I hope it's understandable. And what will happen also when you use this Prism, you will get a little buff to your favor. I mentioned it already. So yeah, between Judgment, behind Judgment, before Hammer of Wrath. That's where is Holy Prism sitting place. Of course, if you don't need healing, just click on a friendly target to do nice AoE or single enemy, classic. Depends what's happening, but yeah, it's very important. Not so expensive on how much it's doing. Oh, because it's cooldown. Usually not mana expensive, they're usually time expensive. So I did a little bit mess with priorities, so let's do over them once again to make sure it's nice, understandable. So let's not explain abilities, let's just talk about priorities. So first priority is Beacon of Virtue before you start healing. Ideally on AoE on single target, not really worth it. Second priority is our Holy Armaments, just keep using them. Third priority, Word of Glory, that is fighting. With fourth priority, that is Judgment, so when it's critical it's much better, when it's not, it's not. It is what it is. Fifth priority, we are squeezing there that Holy Prism, I forgot to mention in text guide. Then sixth priority is Hammer of Wrath, that can be used only in special occasions, but it's nice heal. And then we have seventh priority, Holy Shock, and the very last priority is our Holy Light, we ideally never want to use. So let's go over cooldowns. There is one big one, so let's just start with that one. So Avenging Crusader, just 1 minute cooldown, but a lot of things are happening. So let's first talk about what it is. So when you start it, it's for 15 seconds Crusader Strike, and Judgment cooldown is reduced by 30%. You will get another stack of Crusader Strike, so we have 2 stacks instead of 1. So you will get 1 recharge immediately. And what is the main point of this ability? Then you have it, 260% of your damage from only Crusader Strike and Judgment, just these 2 abilities. So no Holy Shock damage, no Prism damage, no Hammer of Wrath damage. Just Judgment and Crusader Strike, 260%. It's healing up to 5 allies, split amongst them. Main thing what it's doing, it got a little bit extra things. So when you use it, you have 1 stack of, should be 2, but apparently because it's just half cooldown, because usually it's 2 minutes, I didn't even realize before, you have 1 triple Holy Shock. So your next Holy Shock won't be cast just single time, but it will cast 3 times, just with 1 click. So this is what it's doing. Now let's talk about what we have for priorities here. So we are changing a little bit what you want to do with it in this 15-second window. It can be longer, because you can get also proc of these wingies from talents over here. So if you have 15 stacks, you're getting 1 stack when you just spent Holy Power. So in this case, Shield of Righteous and Word of Glory. And after you use it 15 times, then your next Judgment will be Critical Strike. That's huge, because you know, it will trigger Hammer and Anvil. You will trigger it by 100%, because you know it will happen, and you will get those wingies for 8 seconds instead of 15. But hey, it was not your cooldown. So that's another way how to get it. And there's a thing that is happening. When you activate it, some armament will happen. So here, it procs Sacred Weapon. One important thing I forgot to mention, now I remember, with armaments, if you use it on someone, you will get the copy. That's quite important information. So don't use it on yourself, you will always get the copy and just click it on somebody else. Always you will get. If you use it on yourself, like you are getting when you are using Avenging Crusader, then you will get 1 and second target will be random. I don't think it's completely random, but I don't know what is the system. Closest target or best target, I don't know. It's just more or less random. Don't believe it's completely random, but let's say it's random. Alright, priorities with Avenging Crusader. So if we are on 5 Holy Power, we don't want to waste it, because it's a nice resource. So if you have 5 Holy Power, even when you have these wingies, you will cast your World of Glory to heal. If you have nothing to heal, I guess you can do Shield of Righteous, but if there is nothing to heal, it doesn't matter. So, whatever. If there's nothing to heal, you can just waste your Holy Power. Go for it. Alright. We need to heal. If you have 5 holy power, use Word of Glory. Doesn't matter, you will waste your time, because we have down over heal with plus assurance. That casting holy power ability increase damage of your next Crusader Strike. I don't understand healing, because Crusader Strike is not healing. It's healing from damage that it will do, but it's not healing. Whatever, it's just wording. It's increasing damage by 120%. So if you click 2 Crusader Strikes in a row, it will be still less effective than just heal first and then Crusader Strike. So you are not losing anything by casting those heals. Because just imagine you casted 2 Crusader Strike in a row. This is even a little bit better because it's not 100, it's 120. So yeah, if 5 holy power, click heal first. Second priority is Judgment. Not only because it gets a chance to do critical and other heals like damage prevention, blah blah blah, but it's also a little bit higher on damage than Crusader Strike. Even when you have that buff, if you have that buff, of course Crusader Strike is better damage, but if you use Crusader Strike, you will reduce cooldown of Judgment. So, you know, you want to get Judgment on cooldown, and then you click in Crusader Strike, because all of these abilities are on cooldown. If you just click whatever, you probably don't have enough cooldown. So that's why you have time to squeeze those heals and then Judgment first, blah blah blah. Because if you just click Crusader Judgment and there is nothing to click else, because you need to wait a few seconds. It's just a really short time to get it back, but you know what I mean. So yeah, the second one is Judgment. Third one, if you have that buff from the holy power, Spender, then you're using Crusader Strike. If you don't have that buff and we have at least 3 holy power, we are using that heal. And the fifth priority is just Crusader Strike without any buff, and we don't have any holy power to empower that Crusader Strike. So once again, first priority, if full holy power, cast heal. Second priority, Judgment. Third priority, if you have buff for increased damage, Crusader Strike, and Crusader Strike. Fourth priority, if you have at least holy power, at least 3, and we don't have that buff for Crusader Strike, Word of Glory. And the fifth one is Crusader Strike without any buff. Alright, next cooldown, Divantal. Simple one, you'll cast Holy Shock up to 5 targets. If you choose enemy as the first target, it will be prioritizing other 4 targets as enemies. If there is no other enemies, it will be do healing. If I will click as friendly target first, it will prioritize friendly targets. So in this case, I will click on this dummy, it's enemy, so it should be hit 1 to enemy and 4 to the friendlies. So you can see 4 heals and 1 damage there. So you can choose what is priority. So if you use it on anyone from group, it will just heal 5 targets. Ideally, what you want to do, it's damages, not a big deal. And similar as Wingies, we got stacks of triple Holy Shocks. And instead of wings that are giving just 1 stack, you are getting 2 stacks. So twice triple Holy Shocks. Very simple, we can move on. And of course, as usual, ideally you want to use this with Beacon of Virtue. Also when you're blasting Avenging Crusader, you want to use Beacon of Virtue before you start clicking other abilities, as with everything. Then we have Aura Mastery, very simple. Our Aura is 3% damage reduction, when we click Aura Mastery, it's 12. That's it, done. Easy. Lay on Hands, only mistake you can do with this ability is to use it on regular healing. It's definitely to save somebody from dying. Don't count it like, ooh, I'm just healing. Alright, I have this ready. Make my life easier. Fine. If you have logic, you need to use cooldowns, so you can use it more often. It's fine, but nah, this is lifesaver. So yeah, keep it. And then we have last cooldowns. Oh, it's our blessings. Okay. Third version. Spring, increasing healing taken by 30% and healing done by 15%. If you need to heal AoE, use on yourself to have that 15% and bonus on yourself. If you need to heal a single target, just place it on that target, because of course he will get increased healing, but it matters because healing received will be increased by 30%, so it's easier to heal. So I usually use on myself, and when it's Blooded Knight and there is no AoE, I put on himself Blooded Knight with this buff. perfection, because he's healing a lot and is increasing healing taken too. So it's just brutal. Death Knight is really good on that kind of tank. Alright, after that we have which one? Blessing of Summer. Goes in 20% all healing or all damage. So if you're doing damage, it's healing. If you are healing, it's doing damage. So I just use it on some damage. Who was blasting? Yeah, Blessing of Summer, 31 millions. I was putting on Paladin. Maybe I did some damage with it too. I use it on damage a little. So, yeah. I just usually use it on best DPS when he's in cooldowns and he's just healing, extra healing. But it's also fine with blooded guys. I think I did more damage. It was blood, that kind here. Oh, I didn't put it on him. That guy is healing quite a lot and he will do some damage from it. It's just still just few millions, so don't expect something big. And it's quite slow because it's over 30 seconds, so it's something extra because it's really slow healing or damage. Alright, next, I wanted to go this fast, but I'm just talking and talking. So next one we have Autumn, recurring, cooldowns 30% faster for 30 seconds. It's similar like we have Apex. It's right now. It's also recurring, your cooldowns 30% faster for 30 seconds. It's literally the same thing. So yeah, use it on anyone who want to reduce your cooldowns. If you need to heal a lot, use it on yourself. Or on your best DPS. And the last one is Autumn. Well, Autumn Winter. We just didn't switch yet because you know cooldowns. And that is just regenerating mana. And you cannot use it on DPS anyway. It can be only used on healers, so just use it on yourself. Enjoy your free mana. Enough from cooldowns. On the end about damage. So only thing I didn't mention, we are using all the abilities. That Holy Shocks I mentioned a little. If you really have nothing to heal, just start clicking Holy Shocks. It's doing nothing, but if you have nothing else already on cooldown, sure. Another thing you will add is just Consecration under enemies. That's it. Just these two additions. More or less Consecration. Before we needed to stand in Consecration, now we do not. And now it's not increasing our healing. Before, when we stand in it, our Word of Glory healed more. Not anymore. So it's pure damage ability. So we don't care about it that much. Alright. I expected this to be short guy, but I started to talk about mechanics. I don't know. I guess I like to explain. Well, hopefully everything was understandable. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I will be happy to answer. Thank you for watching. Think about liking and subscribing. It's helping a lot. And goodbye.